Hi, I'm Greg Hackney, and new for 2021 is the Lews Super Duty rod. I've just been out here today with the opportunity to test these rods, and wow, they are meat sticks. They come in actually two series, a bass series and a multi-species series. And for a guy like me who lives on the coast, they're perfect. You know, if I'm flipping heavy cover, I use the bass series, and if I'm on the coast targeting redfish, cobia, red snapper, you know, there's a perfect setup for that in the multi-species. You know, one thing that on the freshwater series that I really like is they have the full wind tack dry grip. And if you've never had an opportunity to use a wind grip, you never have to worry about the rod slipping in your hand. It doesn't matter if your hands are wet from catching fish or wet from rain or just wet from the conditions or wet from sweat. You don't have to worry about your hand slipping on these grips. Probably the biggest key factors about these rods, and especially the bass rods, they are powerful flipping sticks. I mean, these are going to be rods where you're using 65 or bigger. Like almost for most of these rods, you know, 65 will be the minimum poundage of line test that you'll use when you're fishing with these rods. I mean, these are going to be rods that I'll pick up when I'm, you know, flipping trees at Falcon for giant bass, you know, lobbing giant swim baits around out west for giant bass, picking up a 2-ounce weight, you know, flipping through mats in the Delta. I mean, these rods are for big, powerful techniques on the bass line. Now, the cool thing about it is they pair perfectly with the Super Duty reels. This is the SDG 1SH reel, which is a smaller one, which is what I prefer on the flipping stick anyway. You got that big rod, you don't need a giant reel, you don't need a lot of line capacity. So the small Super Duty reel is perfect for these flipping sticks. Now, with that being said, when I make the switch and go to the multi-species, and when I say multi-species, these rods will be just as good on bass for certain techniques as they will on saltwater fish or whatever you decide, peacock bass, whatever you're fishing for at the time. Now, one of the key differences between the multi-species rod and the bass rod is the split grip. All of the bass rods come with a solid wind tack grip. The multi-species rods have the split grip. And the multi-species are anywhere from a 6'8" to a 7'11" rod. Just, you know, changing actions. There's a musky version, a calico bass. But like I said, for me living here in Louisiana, you know, most of the time when I pick up the multi-species rod, I'm gonna be targeting redfish, red snapper, mangrove snapper, cobia, tarpon. You know, these will be great jigging rods for, you know, big heavy bucktail. They'll also be great, you know, this is the same rod I'm going to use if I'm at Kentucky Lake in the middle of the summer throwing that giant ledge spoon. They're perfect for that. They're big, long, for making long casts. They pair perfectly with the Lews 300 Super Duty. You know, the Lews Super Duty has a large line, the 300 has a large line capacity, has one of the strongest drags in the market, and they're just going to be perfect for these rods. So again, I can't say enough about the Lews Super Duty rods, but the main thing I'm saying, these are meat sticks. They're made for heavy applications with big baits. They're strong. They will handle up to 80-pound braid. I mean, they're going to be fun rods. They're going to be in situations where it's scary. This is the rod you're going to want to use.